Hello, everyone. This is Ishan Shahani from RevSportz, and a very good morning to all of you. You're joining in for the morning show. It's been an action-packed sports week across India. We've had cricket, we've had badminton, we've had hockey, we've also had football. So it's been an action-packed week with a lot happening. Let me introduce you to my guests, Gagi joining us, Bharat and Shomik. Gagi, I'm going to start off with you. You've been at the India Open, and you've been there. You've been witnessing all the greatness. Today's game was something to really talk about. Priyanshu in the beginning showed great intent. He won. He went on to win that first game. Unfortunately, couldn't capitalize. I think the experience of Pranoy just got the better of him. Talk us through that moment. Tell us about that match and how it was being there at that moment.
Yeah, that match had absolutely every single one of us at the edge of our seats because Priyanshu, even though he started very, very nervous, he had all those nerves and he was really nervous. You could tell by his body language that he wasn't at his best. And if you've seen him in that first match against Lakshya Singh, he was looking completely different from that. He was looking less confident. But as he went on with the game, in the second half of the first game, he really got that momentum. But in the second game, there was a break. I think he lost that momentum in that second game. And then lost a couple of consecutive points, 3 or 4 points he lost. And Pranoy, I think, was up by 4 or 6 points, and Priyanshu had zero. So I think that really got to him. And he's very, very young. He's just, I think, 21 or 22, Priyanshu. And, these things get to him right now. He's not that used to facing really good opponents, someone like an HS Pranoy who's been doing it for so long now. And I think if it weren't for first that ankle injury that he had in the middle of the second game, and also his mental block where he just kind of left the zone and couldn't get back into it, he would have had a very, very good fight because everyone was rooting for this fight. You had Satvik and Chirag playing one match in the very next court, but no one was watching that. Everyone was watching Priyanshu HS.
Talking about Satvik and Chirag, they dominated the Chinese pair with 21-14 and 21-15. So just fantastic against and pure dominance. So your thoughts on that, Gagi?
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to say about Satvik Chirag, because right now they're doing everything right. Their communication is incredible. The way that they're covering the court is incredible. The way that these two are moving in tandem is also incredible. And I think a lot of credit also goes to Matthias Bo, who's their coach. And ever since he joined in 2021, it's only right. They're only going upwards. So it's been incredible the way that they're working towards that Olympics gold. A lot of I talked to Matthias last night, and he also said that a lot of mental preparation is also going into this. So it's not just that they're coming onto the court and doing this off the court. Also, there's a lot of effort that's being put into making this incredible pair. But when we talk about last night's match, it was nothing new for us because Satvik and Chirag are winning so many games. You're just expecting them to win every game.
So true, so true. And talking about Satvik, Chirag, and Pranav, we have an exciting bite for all of you to watch. So have a look. I'm sure you're going to enjoy it.
Well, yeah, I think it was a good win for us because the last time we played against them in Japan Open, in the first round we actually lost to them. So we wanted to take revenge today, and I think the way we played, I think we were dominating right from the start of the match. And I think, all the tactics that we had planned for the match kind of worked well for us. So I think it was a good match for us today.
You fired some rockets today across the net. So what was the secret behind that?
Like I said, we had lost to them last time, so we were quite charged up today, and we didn't really want to give them any opportunity because they can be a formidable pair. So we had our gears on right from the get-go.
Rahul, one last.
Wait. Happy to not concede a big lead in the second game.
I was fixed already. We are going to play third game, so I was very chill. It's okay if you lose 2-3 points also, don't worry, because it became habit for us. So then I thought like not think so much about that, just play whatever we can. Let's see if they can take the lead, then we'll see in the third game. Otherwise, we'll just play 1-1. I had my tactics. I wanted to break the rhythm, take time, and see if it works. So it kind of worked in the second game, and 2-3 points here and there we got lead. Then then we got confident and we thought like let's pull it off from here. Just don't give them chance. And they're quite not comfortable today according to the last time we played them. They played like little panic mode and their service is not so good compared to the last time. So yeah, really happy the way we played and looking forward for tomorrow's match.
Yeah, I think unfortunate for Priyanshu, I would say, because he twisted his ankle, I guess, in the second set. But I think in the first game was very close out there. Had my chances at 18-16 leading, but I think he played a really steady game towards the end of the first game. But I think I was ready to play the second and third game, and I knew I had to kind of stretch it long today to kind of get to that win. But unfortunately, he couldn't play post that second set. But I think he was fighting till the end to kind of make sure that he kind of finishes off the game.
Sandeep, Rohan, how difficult or easy is it to play someone you know very well because you train together, you are of the same academy? And what steps do you have to take to beat an opponent who knows your game very well?
I think it's always tough to play at a 750 level. You are getting a draw like this where 3 Indians are in 1 3/4. I think it's a little irritating, to be honest. But I think that's how the draws are sometimes, and you have to take it like that. I think the preparations are pretty much usual, but when you know that there is somebody who knows your game very well, just how well you execute during the particular day or kind of the score points, especially post 15 all, how you're going to execute your game plan, I think is just the key. I mean, that's the only difference when you kind of meet these kind of players where we know each other. I think apart from that, we don't really have so many things to change. So
India took on Uzbekistan yesterday, and obviously it was a tough game. The Indians obviously couldn't capitalize. They seemed out of shape. A lot of questions were raised. Shomik, I'll start off with you over here. Your thoughts on the game, what went wrong, and what can we possibly do to compete with better teams in the future?
See, Ishan, I didn't expect India India lost to Australia 2-0, but they returned with some credit in the bank. Everything that credit in the bank got evaporated in the first 45 minutes against Uzbekistan. In the sense, I didn't expect them to be outclassed by a team that is ranked 65th in the FIFA rankings. But the fact of the matter is that it was just the midfield didn't have any shape. It was schoolboy defending for the first 2 goals. We saw both Igor Stimac and Travis Sinclair with throwing their arms in despair at the naivety with which India defended. You see the first goal, Sandesh Jingan was ball watching. Gurpreet didn't command his area, and a little man like Fuziliev scored. Then second goal also was Sandesh Jingan's positioning. From the initial header that rebounded off the woodwork, it was all wrong. Third goal, at the stroke of the half time, Rahul Veke lost the ball in midfield, and nobody tracked the run from the Uzbekistan player. So, India had interestingly, India had 59% of possession. They had a lot of ball in the first half, and both in the second half was a bit better. But again, the game sailed. Uzbekistan hardly ever moved out of the second gear in the second half. So it was a very disappointing performance, especially the first half.
So would you say that they should focus more on the basics going forward? I think that's where they really faltered.
Absolutely. Defense, they should focus on the basics, and also see we have to accept the harsh reality. They are not, bar a couple of players, 2-3 players, they are not good on the ball. They don't have that quality on the ball. That is one thing. And they did their basics wrong. And at this level, you can't expect to win a game or secure at least a point if you don't do your basics wrong. So that was the issue. And these are the issues you cannot rectify at the national level. It's not the national team manager's job to make a player better on the ball. You do that at the academy level, at the club level. So it's at the national level. It's about syncing the team with your tactical plans and about system and formation. We have a long way to go. We have a long way to go to match the Asian elite. But then again, we have to play against them more often to get there.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's a fair statement made. To talk more about the game, we had Rahul and Swapnil in Doha yesterday, and here's what they have to say.
Hi, this is Rahul for RevSportz, and now I'm here at the Ahmed Bin Ali Stadium where India vs Uzbekistan game ended with a scoreline of 3-0 in favor of Uzbekistan. It was really a bad day of office for Indian team, and without any doubt, Uzbekistan played their A game. I think they played far better than what they played against Syria, and unfortunately, their best performance came against India. But now coming to the match, for Uzbekistan, it Abuzbek, Faizulev, Sergeyev and Nasrulev who are the scorers for Uzbekistan. And now if I break the game into 4 quarters, then the first quarter was dominated by Uzbekistan, and Uzbekistan, they exploited India in the first quarter when India looked unsettled, their defense looked unsettled and all. The first goal, I still don't know why Jalaluddin Mashripov was covered by 2 or 3 Indian defenders at a time, and there was large space on the left flank, and that's where from that side only they aided the attack. So, and then again, when India trailing 1-0, India went for attack again, and again Uzbekistan came and exploited them in the counter attack. For India, if you see the stats, of course India dominating the position, but that position, I would say, it was only because India was playing a lot of passes in between their defenders, goalkeepers and all. And again, their midfielders were still very confused throughout the whole game, where to take the position, where to not. Neither the midfielders were clinical, neither the Indian forward was as well, because within the half time, there were 2 or 3 clear chances, like Sunil Chhetri got one header and all, but they failed to convert them. Our India's first chance came just before the half time when Mahesh Naram took a long ranger shot, but unfortunately their goalkeeper denied it comfortably. And then again in the second half we got one chance when Rahul KP struck it at the crossbar. So unfortunately it was really an unlucky day for Indian team. Again, in the attacks, obviously I would say the attack was a bit positive than the Australian game, but again in the final third they were losing possession. So in that position, I think Uzbekistan was far better. If you see the position, again I would repeat that it was India who dominated the position, but it was Uzbekistan who were coming in attack so quickly. Their penetration was so quick. Even they made the Indian defenders confused. So that's where you need to take those opportunities with both hands, where Indian attackers completely failed throughout the whole game. So that's the review of tonight's game. You guys stay tuned to RevSportz, because we will keep giving you updates from the AFC Asian Cup.
All right, moving on to hockey. It's again a little bit disappointing, but a great fight shown by the Indian girls. I think all of us can be extremely proud in that fight. They made an equalizer in the very last minute. Bharat, you were there yesterday. Tell us about the emotions you were feeling and how that game transpired to be such a special one. Unfortunately, they couldn't cross the line, but it sets it up for the game today. So tell us about the game yesterday and what you were feeling being over there and experiencing it all.
I'm still wondering what exactly happened there, because kind of roars that you were listening to from the crowd, it was crazy scenes. I mean, every fan was standing, no one was sitting there. From media box, hardly anyone could see, because everyone was cheering, jumping. Oh my God, they're crazy scenes. India obviously showed a lot of fight. First half, India I think dominated. Second half, as you know, Germany is a very good side. They sort of traveled back, and then during later stages, Germany put India under a lot of pressure. Stephen Horst obviously scored the goals. Couple of goals, and Ishika Chowdhury again equalized, and in the penalty shootout it was again crazy scenes. India were leading, Germany traveled back, came back, and again both of them missed. finally it was, I think, Nolte, I think, who got that final strike to make it sure Germany will go through.
So, how was the atmosphere there when that final equalizer was made at the very last minute? I think the crowd must have, been ecstatic.
The final equalizer, obviously, the crowd was absolutely ecstatic. It completely, the noise was such that I said cacophony of sounds. And then again, the exact opposite happened right at the end when Germany won. It was absolutely pin drop silence, a complete opposite of it. But it was a crazy match. I think this is the best I've seen Indian women's team play, and one of the best matches I've seen. I'm not saying I watched as much as watched hockey as much as cricket or tennis, but I've watched quite a bit in the last 29 years, and this is one of the best matches I've seen. And to watch the spectacle at the ground, it was something else.
Absolutely, I think we all can agree with that. Yeah.
I just have a question for Bharat. I mean, do you think that after this game, the Indian team are expected to be mentally drained? And do you think with such short recovery time, they will be able to recover and put up a show against Japan? Because at the end of the day, it remains the same. India need one more win to secure a place for the Olympics.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think they might be mentally drained because it must have taken a lot out of them. They were leading 1-0, then Germany were leading 2-1, and they came back. They were actually leading in the penalty shootout. Germany came from behind and won. So it must have taken a lot out of them mentally, but hopefully Alex Koopman, the coach, she has won a lot of medals at World Cups, Olympics, so she would know about being in these pressure situations. She has gone through it, experienced it for so many years. So hopefully, and with her as coach, we would see India again up for it for tomorrow's big clash against Japan.
आज की मैच के बारे में क्या कहना है? इंडिया बहुत अच्छा था मगर फाइनली इंडिया हार गया.
शूट आउट लास्ट में हुआ, मैच बहुत अच्छा चला, इंटरेस्टिंग था, बहुत अच्छा अमेजिंग मैच था और मज़ा तो बहुत आया. फर्स्ट टाइम था यहाँ पे आए थे औरंगाबादी में, अच्छा माहौल था. ओवरऑल गेम अच्छा चला, बट लास्ट में थोड़ा डिसअपॉइंटमेंट मिला हम लोगों को.
कल जापान के साथ मैच है, क्या लगता है इंडिया जीतेगा?
डेफिनेटली हम लोग इंडिया के साथ रहेंगे. अब देखते हैं, मैच है कल.
आज का मैच इंडिया हार गई मगर बहुत रोमांचक था. क्या कहना है आज के मैच के बारे में?
बहुत ही शानदार मैच था आज का.
इंडिया ने बहुत अच्छा खेला, एक टॉप टीम को इधर टफ फाइट दी है. बहुत अच्छा खेला इंडिया, बहुत अच्छा खेला, दिल जीता हमारा आज का मैच जीत के. हमें तो लगता है कि जर्मनी लकीली जीता है और इंडिया डेफिनेटली कल जीत के और अपना ओलंपिक में क्वालिफाई करेगा.
तो कल का मैच या जापान के साथ है, कितने गोल से जीतेगा
इंडिया? डेफिनेटली वन साइडेड डेफिनेटली चलो 1-0 से उनको.
अभी 3-1 अपना मैक्सिमम है. कम से कम 4 गोल मारेंगे, 4 गोल से जीतेंगे. हमारा सपोर्ट पूरा है आपके साथ.
इंडिया
भारत माता की जय.
Absolutely, it's a big clash today, and I think we all should back our girls. On that note, we hope that you've enjoyed today's morning show. We're going to leave you with an exclusive interview with Matthias Bo, and we all hope that you really enjoyed. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.
Matthias, how did you initially find out the duo's strengths, Sachi's strengths, and tailor your coaching approach to maximize their potential?
Yeah, well, I think it's clear to everyone that their physique is quite strong. They have a really good offense. Both of them can hit. And it's not always enough, sadly, just to hit hard smashes. They also need to build up for it and get those opportunities to smash and use their attack. And that means that we need to be strong in the service situation. It means that we need to be able to play from the defense also and be able to mix it up. So initially it was more like Satvik at the back and Chirag at the net. Now we have playing a little bit more 50-50. It's also important to do that so we can mix it up a bit and make the attack even more venomous.
And when we look at their attack, their defense is relatively weaker than their attack. So how are you planning on working on that?
Well, we make exercises to trust the defense. They have a good defense. They just don't use it that much because they sometimes just prefer to play offensively, like how they did today. Where I actually told them to try and get them to lift a little bit more to slow condition and use the defense that they actually have. They didn't do that, so now I'm going to scold them for not listening to me. We need to work on the defense, but as long as it's not an issue, as long as we don't stand and just play from that defense, it's not an issue. So but we